Hi there, and welcome to the Skylight Books author reading series. If you'd like to learn more about us and our many upcoming author events, please visit skylightbooks.com, where you can browse our inventory, buy books, and join our Friends with Benefits Club. You can also follow us on Twitter, Tumblr, and Facebook. To speak to a real live bookseller like me, please call 323-660-1175. Thanks for your support, and enjoy.
All right. Mallory Rubin is the editor-in-chief of The Ringer and one of the founding editorial members of the site. She and Jason Concepcion co-host the Binge Mode podcast, which has covered Game of Thrones and Harry Potter, among other pop culture and literary obsessions, and which was named Time Magazine's #1 podcast of 2017 and #4 podcast of 2018. Jason Concepcion first gained notoriety through his popular Twitter account, Network. His witty social media missives on sports and pop culture got him hired as a staff writer for Grantland in 2014. Since 2016, he's worked at The Ringer as a writer, podcaster, and host. And finally, Shea Serrano's most recent book, well, his most recent book is Movies and Other Things, but before that, Basketball and Other Things was, among other things, a #1 New York Times bestseller and selected by President Barack Obama as one of his favorite reads of the year. Wow, that's so famous. His previous book, The Rap Year Book, was also a New York Times bestseller and is being turned into a documentary that will air on AMC in 2019. Currently, he is a staff writer for The Ringer. All right, everyone, please put your hands together and give a warm skylight welcome to Shea Serrano, Mallory Rubin, and Jason Concepcion.
What a weird setup.
This is tough. This is very...
Is there a third tall chair?
No, there's only
Awesome.
Do you want to switch?
Couple of housekeeping items. Jason forgot to mention that he won an Emmy recently.
Yes.
We should say that. Also, and this is my favorite trick to play, my illustrator, Arturo Torres, is here. He didn't come down because he was sad because we didn't introduce him. And I did it on purpose because I know how sensitive he is. But where is he for real?
He's with the cat, and he's allergic. So.
He's upstairs. His throat is closed.
Great cat, though.
There he is. There he is. Legitimately the best working illustrator in America right now. So all of the same stuff that was said in my introduction, a couple of bestsellers under his belt, recognized by President Barack Obama, his book getting turned into a TV show, it's all the same for Arturo. So I just want to make sure we just got one more time. Okay. And then, of course, we have Mallory and Jason. So.
I feel like my parents are getting divorced.
Son.
I wanted to, each of these stops that we go to, I ask two people to sit up here and talk to me about a couple of different things. And I always try to find people who write about stuff in a way differently than I do. And I was at our little hotel trying to figure out how to explain the difference between the way that I will write about something versus the way that Jason and Mallory write about something or think about something. And I came up with a story. And I'm going to tell you, and this is going to be me explaining the difference in the way that I write and the way that you two write, and why it was important for y'all to be here. So, a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago, Laramie's my wife, we went on our first anniversary. It was 10 years after we got married, and we finally went on our honeymoon trip.
Where'd you go?
We went to Italy.
What part?
Right?
Nice.
I don't know. I just showed up with a backpack. I just stuffed a suit in a backpack and went. Whatever. We're in Italy, and she tells me one night, hey, we're going to go to a ballet. And it was a very cool ballet in this like old Italian opera house. It was beautiful. It was like the thing that you see in the movie. She wore this beautiful dress, or not a dress, but like this beautiful outfit. She had her hair all done, and I was just in my wrinkled up suit from my backpack, and we're watching the show, and it's a beautiful moment. And we leave out of there, and it's like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm ready to go back to the hotel room, but everybody out there eats like super late, apparently. We see people stopping off in different restaurants, like as you're walking back. And she's like, would you like to go to dinner with me? And I was like, absolutely, I would like to go to dinner with you. We went to this gorgeous restaurant right by like wherever the people are with the gondolas, and they're singing. You can hear them out of the window. I'm sitting here at the dinner with this beautiful woman. There's candlelight, there's soft music playing. This handsome Italian waiter walks over, and he's talking to her in Italian, and she doesn't know what he's saying, but she's falling in love with him, and it's great. And I'm watching it happen, and I'm just like, this makes so much sense right now. And whatever he's done saying, she like orders her drink, and she orders some sort of wine. I don't know what the wine is, but she knew what she was talking about, and she's ordering it. She's got this long, beautiful neck, and she's very graceful, and I'm like, this is a movie star that I'm sitting here with, and I love this exact moment right now. And then he turns to me, and he's like, and what can I get for you to drink? And like an idiot, I go, do you have root beer? And that's the first story that I thought of when I'm thinking about like the way that y'all think about stuff or write about stuff. And the way that I do. In that situation, y'all two are Laramie. Very elegant and smart and like graceful in your writing. And here I'm like, you want to drink a soda? So here we are.
First of all, root beer is delicious.
I love it.
Second of all, that's the plot of Spider-Man Far From Home.
Is it really?
Pretty much.
All right. Well, there you go. I'm Spider-Man then.
Pretty close.
Okay. So in the book, there's a chapter in there where I had several of my writer friends answer a prompt for me. It's a trick that I do in each of my books. The reason that I do it is, number one, because it helps fill up space, and I don't have to do it. It's like a chapter off for me. I just write an intro and then let everybody else go. But also I like to have other voices in there because I want for the books to feel like it's not just me telling you what everything is. It's more like we're having a conversation. Anyway, in this book, the prompt that I asked Mallory and Jason to answer was, which movie death affected you the most as an adult? And I knew I was going to get very good answers out of both of them for different reasons. And so that's one of the questions that I'm going to ask you right now. And then I also have like 3 or 4 other ones that I had considered before I landed on that one. And so I'm going to ask you those ones also. Jason, can you?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to give you this one. Can you tell us, or you can take that one?
I wrote about the death of. Sure.
You see what I'm talking about?
I wrote about the death of Private Mellish from Saving Private Ryan, the 1998 Steven Spielberg World War II movie in which Private Ryan, now an older man, reminisces about events that he was not present for. And it's just a thing that bothers me about that movie, although it's a very good movie. So, it's just like a very intimate death scene in which Mellish is like holding out with another guy in a corner apartment. The walls are all shot up. They're holding out against the Germans. The Germans are coming up. His compatriot is killed. He kills one guy as he's rushing into the room, and then the other guy comes in, and now it's like a fight to the death. They've got each other around like the collars, and Mellish pulls a knife, and he's about to stab the guy, but then the tables get turned, and now the German's like pushing the knife down onto his chest.
Yeah.
And then Mellish like tries to call a timeout. He's like, no, wait. And that just really struck me as something that like, oh yeah, that you would definitely do that.
Right.
I would definitely be like, okay, let's call it off.
I changed my mind.
I don't want to do it. Let's not do it. Let's just stop.
Right.
And that really affected me.
I remember that scene. So as soon as you sent me your answer back, I knew exactly who you were talking about and why you were talking about it, because I felt the same way. I had never watched a war movie. This is like a very intense war movie. just body parts getting exploded off of bodies and everything. And I had seen that. I'd seen Hamburger Hill before. Or I'd seen like the last half of Full Metal Jacket or Platoon or even Dead Presidents where they're like fucking cutting the guy's head off as a souvenir. But I had never watched a war movie where somebody begged for their life. And he just couldn't think of anything else. And he's like, please don't kill me.
Yeah. Not great.
Did you?
It didn't make me feel good.
Did you cry when that happened?
No, but I was definitely like, oh fuck. Plus, I saw it in the theater, and it was like, it's an interesting energy in the theater because there was like a lot of younger people in the theater, and I was working in a movie theater at that time, and so like a lot of people were like, yeah, Spielberg, man, fucking World War II, here we go, this is gonna be the shit, and they're. The ramp comes down on Normandy Beach, and then dudes just get like evaporated in like a hail of bullets.
Yeah,
with
that was
just,
tough.
Like, skulls coming apart, and it's just like everybody was just like, "Oh shit!"
There were news
This is a
stories
lot.
about like actual World War II veterans.
Yeah, staggering out of the.
Yeah, having to leave or going into shock or whatever. Like, that sucks.
It was intense. It was really like a kind of groundbreaking war movie in the sense that it was the first war movie that really was like, we're going to attempt to show you how bad it was in a real way with just bodies coming apart and dudes holding their guts in and in a real visceral you are there kind of way.
If you're dropped into this movie,
I'd last 15 seconds. What are you talking about?
which one of these guys are you? Are you the guy begging for his life?
Probably. I mean, unfortunately, yeah. Probably. I would be that guy. I'd probably be, I'd be the guy that was like carrying way too much equipment and trying to go into like the war zone with like a typewriter and like 5 other things. I'd be the guy who hearing Mellish like scream.
Oh, in the hallway.
Doesn't go up.
Yeah.
I'd be that guy.
That sounds like a good guy to be. Mallory, do you want to talk about the war? Or do you want to talk about your pick?
Just want to commend you on the cheerful opening note for this gathering. Very pleasant.
That's your guy right there, teeing it up.
My dude. I wrote about Wilson, the volleyball from Castaway.
Can you? That's a jump. All right.
That's a
Bit of a self-parody, I have to admit, but I don't know. When you asked the question, I just found myself thinking of, I get very sad very easily.
Right.
Reading stories, watching shows, watching films. Like to feel the emotion, let it wash over me, no shame, lean into the tears. But when I was thinking of specifically something, because you framed it as an adult,
right,
that like really struck you. And I thought about how I perceive death differently as I have aged. Mm-hmm. And the reason that Chuck losing Wilson and watching him float away in the ocean as he's on the raft stuck with me so much is because it's not really about death specifically. It's about the power of connection and how that can transform your life.
Right.
And specifically in that scenario, that was the only source of connection that he had. And, if that movie's out now, that's just like a meme, right?
Real quick,
but it was really such a sincere achievement and such a beautiful thing that you could take this inanimate object and then impart all of this life onto it. And literally things like, the handprint of blood. It's like, well, okay, they're blood relations now, right? And the way that he confides in him like he would with a friend. And part of that is because there's just the absence of any other opportunity for any interaction with a living being or a non-living being. But part of it was because their bond was real. They saw some shit together, And to wake up from the raft and look and see that he was floating away and then to realize that he can't go after him, that's the part that's like so gutting.
Yeah.
Because if he does, he's going to die. And then what was any of that for, right? And so that idea of choice and consequence is also, I think, just like incredibly powerful. And then when he shouts, "I'm sorry," like he really let him down. I just think it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
It made me really sad. Poor Wilson.
Do you think Chuck watches volleyball, like professional volleyball?
Probably not.
Or does he like
Triggering.
So that movie ends with him. They're implying he finds like a new love of his life with the woman that he meets, and I wonder they start dating. It's getting serious. And she like comes to his house. She's like, "Hey, can I use the bathroom?" He's like, yeah, it's right. It's the second door. And she walks down the hall and she like opens the garage door by accident, and it's just fucking full of volleyballs. She's like, "What is going on?" It's just hand splats on each one of them.
It's like the collection in Last Man on Earth. They all have faces painted on them and names.
So you sent the thing, and I read, like, as soon as I saw the name you picked, and I was like, oh, this is going to be good, because I knew you were going to figure out a way to, like, get in and out of it, and very similar to what you just did. And it's interesting to me, you pointing out, when he gives the ball the name, and he starts calling him Wilson.
Sure.
Then Wilson becomes real.
Right.
That's like a real, that thing that happens. Like, we had, like, we were living in a townhome, me and the kids and my wife. And there was a spider. It was like a little tiny courtyard, and there's a wooden fence that like separates us from the parking lot behind us. And in the corner of the fence was a spider web, and in the middle of it was a big spider. He was like this big.
Did you name him Charlotte?
We named him Steve. Steve the spider. That was his name. It was the baby wasn't born yet, but the other two were like 5 years old. And so one of them found him one day, and they were like, "Oh, come look at this spider. It's like a shiny spider." And we went and we saw him, and we were like, "Oh, that's cool." And then like 2 days later, we were back out there playing, and he was still there in the same exact spot. And that's when we gave him a name. And we're like, "Oh, the spider's still here. Like, we should name him. What are we gonna name him?" And the kids are terrible at naming things. They just add a Y to it. They're like, "We'll call him Spidery." I'm like, "No, we need a better name." We ended up on Steve the Spider. Anyway, Steve the Spider became part of our life for a week, easy, every day,
Oh.
every
That's
day.
not very long. I thought you were
No,
going to
that's
say
a
like
long
3
for a
years.
5-year-old. For a 5-year-old, that's a long time. And so they would come home from their little daycare school, and we would put our stuff away and then go out there and check on Steve the Spider every day. "Hey, what's up, Steve?" We started talking to him. He never responded, which I thought was rude. And then one day we came home, and Steve the Spider was gone, just gone. And I wasn't expecting to feel as emotional about it as I did, because I told them, "Oh, he just left. He went to go with his family." Right. That's what I'm telling them. I'm like fighting. I'm making up a lie as we're going. I know in my head a bird ate Steve, and it just broke my heart.
It's devastating.
And this talk is turning into a real bummer. Anyway, I wrote about King Kong in the thing. 2005 King Kong, Peter Jackson's King Kong. I don't know. And again, this is the difference between the two of us. Jason is able to explain why this thing touched him. Mallory can explain, "Oh, it's because it's not about death, it's about connection." Like, I can't do that. I'm just like, I saw an ape.
Is that what I sound like?
Yeah. No, that's not what you sound like. That's like what I sound like trying to sound like you, which is why I don't do it. I just saw an ape on the screen. It's an 80-foot screen or whatever it is. It's this giant ape, and I fell in love with him. It happens early in the movie. He's like a charming guy, and he's with Naomi Watts, and she's trying to like win him over, and he's like, he does this with his hand, and he like turns away from her, and then he looks at her, and I'm like, "All right, I love you that fast. I love you." And then they like kidnap him, and they take him to New York, and they make him part of a stage play where this is like the biggest dick move that Jack Black does. Is he's like, we're not only going to kidnap you, we're going to put you in a play and recreate the kidnapping every single night. They chain him up on the stage. They like have the dancers come out, and everybody sort of pretending they're reenacting it. That's what they're supposed to do anyway. And the first night that they do it, the woman playing Naomi Watts comes walking out, and he sees her, and he like perks up a little bit. And he's like, "Oh, yes, finally." And they like pull the hair out of her face, and he sees that it's not her, and he goes like, "Argh." Like he's confused. And he gets really, really mad, and he just fucking loses his mind. And he like breaks out of the chains, and he's holding her. And this is my favorite part of the whole movie. He's holding her, and he's mad that it's not her. And they just do it's like a quick cut shot, but rather than like set her down, he just fucking throws her like a doll. He's like, "Nope," boom, and he throws her, and he like busts out of the wherever they are, the stage, the auditorium, and now he's like fucking gorillaing his way down the street, and Adrian Brody is there, and the cars are swerving out of the way. like whatever. He happens to see the real Naomi Watts, and he like, oh my God, and he grabs her, and he's like, we're fucking out of here.
Yeah.
And they take off, and they're gonna go on a date.
It's crazy who you run into in New York.
Just in the street.
Yeah.
I ran into Donald Faison when I was in New York. Turk from Scrubs. It's the most starstruck I've ever been in my life. In my life, we were doing like an interview thing, and I left, and he was in there with Laramie, and I came back, and I was like, did he hit on you? And she thought I was like mad about it, and I was like, I hope he hit on you, because that would make me feel so good. And he didn't. He was super kind. She called him Turk, which I thought was not great. When he walked in, she was like, oh, Turk. And then he was like, nope. And he just kept on about his business. Anyway, he sees Naomi Watts, he picks her up, they take off, and he's trying to escape. And they end up at Central, I think it's Central Park. I don't know a lot about New York.
Fine.
Whatever. But the pond is frozen over, and he gets on it. It's the first time he's ever seen ice and snow. And he starts playing. It just stops. Everything stops. He's like spinning around on the ice and sliding on it and crashing into the snowbanks. And she's laughing, and he's laughing, or gorilla laughing. And I was really like pulled in. And I had totally forgot that everyone wanted him dead at that moment. And my whole guard was let down. And then out of nowhere, a missile comes in and explodes. And as soon as that happened, and I remember they were going to kill him right there. And I couldn't help it. And I don't know why, but in like the back of my chest, pushing all of my emotions out of my eyeballs, I just started crying. And not like I cried in the movie Coco when Miguel is singing to his grandma at the end. And it's like, I remember my grandma. It was like that, right? But this was like a full on like like I wish I was joking, but it was like just tears coming down my eyes, and I have no idea why. And here's the best part, Jason. Here's the best part, Mallory. This is the best part. Like 3 months earlier, I was at a Jack in the Box, and I saw a sign for the Big Brothers Program of America. And I signed up at Jack in the Box for Big Brothers Program of America. And when I was at the movie theater crying to King Kong, this was the first time I had taken my little brother out. Yes. So a 10-year-old kid named Sylvester is sitting next to me. I've never met him before. And I'm crying, and he's looking at me like, I think this is a bad idea that I signed up. It was incredibly embarrassing. Anyway.
That's beautiful.
It's not.
It is. I think it's nice.
I can't imagine what happened at his house when he went home and told his poor mother that this man took me to the theater and then cried at King Kong. Hard, Mom. He cried hard. Must have been so confusing. Anyway, that's what I wrote about. I don't think I mentioned Sylvester in there. I probably should have. Anyway, we're going to do the next question. Okay.
Yeah.
Jason, you can go first. No, Mallory, you go first.
Okay.
Here you go. This is a question I wanted to ask everybody. I'm going to ask you now.
Okay.
Which horror movie universe, we can drop you into any horror movie universe. We're going to put you in there, and everything that happens in that movie is suddenly real and like can become a part of your life.
Okay.
Which one do you want to be in the least?
Little background. I don't like horror movies, and I can't handle them.
Good.
I am not strong enough.
Okay.
And when I was 7 years old, my neighbors, the Bosches, went to play with my friend Adam Bosch and his older brother. Probably shouldn't use their full names. Older brother.
Where they live?
Yeah.
Last floor of the
Just
site?
keep on giving them information.
Let's pretend that's a pseudonym. His older brother made us watch Child's Play. And I was like fucked up for a long time.
How old
after
are
that.
you when this happened?
I was 7 years old.
That's perfect timing.
One or like
I can't remember.
one is kind of like legitimately tries to be scary, and then they get funny.
They were not funny to a
Okay.
7-year-old. I remember something like a murder via ruler in a school.
Oh yeah, that's that's part one.
That's part one.
Awful. And after that, I just never wanted to watch horror movies. Couldn't do it.
I
Stayed away from them for a really long time until a few years ago, before I married my now husband. He loves horror movies.
Awesome.
And he felt that my refusal to watch them was depriving him of an experience that he cherished. And I, back then, still cared about being a sympathetic partner. And so I told him that once a year on his birthday, I would watch a horror movie with him. As long as he respected my wishes and treated me with compassion and basically wasn't a dick about it. Didn't try to scare me. That was my only rule. Jason's heard this story a lot.
He's not allowed to scare you?
Yeah, that was the rule. I will watch this with you. Don't scare me.
during the movie.
Or immediately after. So
Okay.
he chose The Descent,
Oh, good pick.
and I've never recovered. I'd rather not. They go spelunking
Yeah.
in a
It's a cave.
Cave
Go
in-
ahead, Jay.
A
Go ahead.
group of women go spelunking, and there's like a lot of interpersonal drama that happens.
Someone has died previously.
Someone has died previously. They argue a lot, and then plot twist as they go deeper into the cave. There are like mutants down there that are murdering mutants.
They're blind murdering mutants.
It's awful. And at the end of that, I thought, okay, I never want to do that again, but at least Adam was kind to me. Then I went into the other room to get ready for bed, turned the lights off, got into bed, and I turn around and I look in the doorway.
It's a strong bit, though.
And if anyone has seen the movie, you'll know what I mean, but he was like this. Moving like the creatures, and it was so mean and so terrifying, and I have not watched a horror movie since, with the exception of like mainstream horror that I feel an obligation to watch to participate in the conversation of the moment and or do my job, like Get Out.
Right.
So I share that to say my only two picks can be those two movies because I'm really not familiar with the wider canon. I'm going to pick Child's Play
Okay.
because I cannot foresee a scenario where I choose to go spelunking
No.
or really engage in unnecessary physical exertion of any sort.
That's like one of them ones where if you get attacked by a shark, you kind of had it coming.
Don't go in the ocean, you know?
Yeah.
Stay at home and watch a movie about the ocean.
There you
Think
go.
of it that way. But I am surrounded every day of my life by things that I trust to just behave in the way that I expect them to. And so the idea that they might not, that I might be betrayed by either a social norm or some sort of standard that I expect, like a doll, being a doll. And then if it came to life, not being a cool one, like a Toy Story doll, but killing me.
Right, that's my counter.
That would be tough.
So then Toy Story is really an existential horror series.
Well, I mean, if they started to kill people with rulers, it would be. You know, if a drop of Woody's blood got into a vat of plastic and it passed some sort of like curse that then made all the other Woodies murderers,
Wait, hold on.
then yeah.
This is good stuff. Let's save this and write a spec script.
I think we should debate whether or not he could kill somebody with a meter stick. It seems like it's not going to work. They break pretty easy.
I was always confused about like why Chucky was so strong.
Me too.
He's like
He just grabs a hold of you.
Yeah,
Like,
why is he so strong?
I can't get him off.
Yeah, it's
He's
like,
a fucking
come
foot
on,
tall.
yeah,
Just
he's
fucking do this.
Fucking made of plastic. Just throw him off.
He was like the one horror movie monster that I was not afraid
I was
of
not afraid of him at all.
at all.
Get the fuck out of here.
Any other one, if they walk in the door right now, if it's like Michael Myers, you're like, fuck. I can't beat up Michael Myers. But Chucky from Child's Play,
It's tough.
you can legit just hold him. You can hold him.
Fucking hold him.
Mike Myers, I'm like, dude, let me espouse the virtues of therapy to you.
No chance.
that won't
That
work.
didn't work. It didn't work.
I tried it for a significant period of time.
It didn't. Jason, what do you not want to be? What do you not want to be real?
So yeah, hold on.
See, that's why mine
I
broke.
know, that's right. I'm gonna do the universe I don't want to live in, the house that the horror house that I would not want to
okay.
visit, and then the one that I would most want.
Wow, you prepared.
So
I just asked you this question.
I'll start in reverse order. The universe I would most like to be in is the Halloween universe, because like everybody fucks up with Michael Myers. You're in car distance from him. You got to make him get on a plane.
Mm-hmm.
Put a body of water in between you and Michael Myers. Put like a continent. Get out to the coast. Get like away.
I disagree.
Get across. He's not coming on a. He's not getting on a
No,
plane. Go to Italy.
I disagree
Live
with
there.
I disagree with this strategy.
Why?
I think he can get to you.
No, he won't get it. He's
He
not
can-
getting on a plane.
He can get on a boat and just come to
He's
you.
not gonna get on a boat.
Get
Michael
on a boat.
Myers on a boat.
Jason Voorhees got on a boat and when he goes to Manhattan.
Yeah,
Remember that?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he could
Jason
do that.
takes Manhattan.
Listen,
Yeah,
I think you. I think you go the opposite direction because here's what we know about Michael Myers.
Right.
Like you can't do this with anybody else. Like Jason is not above throwing something at you.
Sure.
Like he has speared a number of people, right? There's not. It's like
Yeah.
Michael Myers doesn't do that. Michael Myers has to be arm length away. Everybody in this front row right here is safe from Michael Myers because he can't get you. There's a part in Halloween H2O where
Yeah.
they already know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Josh Hartnett and his girlfriend
Yeah.
are like in a gated door, and Michael Myers is on the other side of it, and all he can do is this.
He's got
And he can't reach them, and they're perfectly fine.
he's got a not like a medium wingspan, and he's not a lot of foot speed.
Yeah.
So like that's why for
you
me
have to keep him in your line of sight. That's what you have to do. Stand in the middle of the street.
I hear
Can't
you when
sneak up
he's
on you.
there, when he's in your direct presence, line of sight. Absolutely, yes. But like, if you look at it, if you really look at the movies, everybody stayed in that. They stayed in that like 30 to 45 minute driving range, and Michael can do
he
that.
keeps
He
coming.
absolutely can do that.
You can drive 30 minutes.
Show me Michael.
There were-
like putting in a half day. Show me Michael putting in 8 hours on the road.
Show
me Michael. I don't think he can do it. I don't think he could do it.
There were people who, when I was saying, "Oh, we have a book signing in
Michael
LA,
going to a rest stop?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
He literally
He'll
goes
get
to a
popped.
rest stop.
I know, but he will. But like,
And he
then
didn't
you'll
get
just
caught.
watch the news and be like,
He went to a gas
crazy murder
station
at a rest stop
and killed 3
4
people.
hours from you.
Yeah.
And then you just get out of there. He can't.
You're using
He can't.
the White Walker. You're using the White Walker rules.
Yeah.
Well, that's different.
It's like
The White
It
Walkers are
Follows.
totally.
The monster from It Follows is the same thing. It's gonna get you. Anyway, there were people.
Okay, so that, but
There-
I'm standing by it. He can't get on a plane.
All
I'm
right.
going to live in
Okay,
Spain.
well,
he's not coming.
Have fun getting
All right.
stabbed. A
in
billion
like
times.
All right, he's not coming. He's not coming to Spain.
All right.
Okay, and then the house that I would least like to be in, horror movie house, is the house from Don't Breathe, with
Okay.
the blind.
Oh, with the blind guy, yeah.
Blumhouse movie, blind veteran,
I've heard you talk about this.
who has been.
It's a fun movie.
It is a fun movie.
Can I explain what I know about the movie just from hearing you talk about it? There's one thing I know about it. He keeps his own semen in a bunch of jars.
And so I'm out on that. I don't want to be in that. I don't want to be in that home.
Wait, you?
I don't wanna be in that.
You don't do that?
I don't want to be in the home. Not to the level that he had. I mean, he's like got like mason jars.
What's the limit? Like, what's the most?
The
amount
limit
of,
is any amount. The limit is any amount. And I'm just out on it. I'm just
Okay.
out on that guy and everything he's doing and the way he keeps his home and all of it. And then finally, the universe I wouldn't want to live in is the Quiet Place universe.
that would
Because
suck.
it's like, you can't talk, and I just
There's
sure.
There's a workaround.
I love it.
Go live by a waterfall.
Why did he wait that long to tell his kids about the waterfall?
'Cause
They were like
he's a
fucking
horrible
10 years old.
horrible father.
Yeah, come on, man.
You knew as soon as he didn't take the batteries away.
Yes, thank you.
He's just like he
Thank
put
you.
them right.
Didn't take the batteries.
Oh, here, don't
One.
get these.
2, it's like they don't get it by now. Like, you don't get it. Don't put the fucking batteries in the
Yeah,
toy.
yeah.
You don't see what's going around here. You don't see like the devastation all around you.
I have a Quiet Place question for you.
Yes.
So everybody makes a big deal about they have another baby. Are they replacing the dead kid?
I think I think
Is that
so.
what was going on? That's why they
I
had to
think
do it.
I think so. Yeah. I think that's something like that, some kind of psychological issue like that.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. I think it was probably an irresponsible choice, but
He messed up so many times in
life
that
finds
movie.
a way. He really did.
I like at the end when the monster's there and they're like, I just have to make some noise, and rather than like throw a thing, he's like, come get me. And then he comes,
My favorite-
And then he comes and gets you.
Yeah. My favorite thing about that movie is like how Krasinski was like he was like, I'm gonna give you like a dozen different be quiets. Like I'm gonna do the one where it goes quick, where the finger goes quick.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna do the one where it's like, and there's a little nod before it gets there.
That's good work on his part.
It is. And then he gives you the one where it's like, why is the finger in that position?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like baseball signs.
I don't know.
Different kinds of quiet, yeah.
I think he just got bored with it and was like, and he does a 2-1. He does a double finger 2.
That means super be quiet, like extra quiet.
Yeah.
Okay, the one that I don't want to live in.
Yeah.
Because I would gladly live in either of the ones that you all have mentioned. Both of yours, Mallory. Sure, the Descent, I'll be fine.
Just don't go in the cave.
Don't go in the cave, or don't go in the woods, or whatever.
I mean, I wouldn't.
And then Chucky, like, fuck you, Chucky. Get out of here. Michael Myers, I feel like I have a game plan for him. It would suck that he has to, like, always be around me all the time. But I could stay alive in that one. The one that I can't stay alive in, though, because you have no control over this, is if The Exorcist is real.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Because little Reagan was minding her own business.
It's tough.
Way on the other side of the earth.
She played Ouija once.
Some fucking idiot digs up a thing on the other side of the planet, and she wakes up with a demon named Pazuzu in her. And, like, if that can be real, then it can just happen at any point to anyone. Exorcist was a movie where I realized, like, I'm not that good of a dad. Because as soon as one of my kids starts floating, like, I don't even like when they get the fever, and I have to, like, pay extra attention to them. But if you start floating, it's fucking, I'll see you in hell, I guess.
That was when you realized you weren't a good dad,
That was
not
it.
when you admitted in front of a room full of people that you'd be fine living in a universe where children's toys could come to life and murder anyone holding them.
Yeah, it would be fine.
That would be fine.
I could handle the doll coming to life. Puppet Master, fucking get out of here, little guys. What is it, the soldier movie where they come alive?
Oh,
Small soldiers? Fucking get out of here. There's no chance. I'm not losing a fight against a fucking 12-inch action figure, even if there's 10 of y'all.
Quintessential hubris. You're always the one who goes first in the film.
That's very likely true.
With small soldiers, there were a lot of them, to be fair.
Sure.
And they had weapons.
Okay.
They had weaponry.
They had weapons that they do like this to you.
Yeah, but, like, over time, yeah, but, like, have you ever, like, I get a thorn, and I'm like, oh, my God, like, I want to die now. And then if you, like, 1,000,000 of them are hitting you.
Okay. If 1,000,000 soldiers show up, I'm in trouble. All right, you got me there. All right. Next question. Here you go. Oh, I like this one. I should have done this one. This is more fun than the movie deaths. I realize now. You're on trial for murder. You're on trial for murder. You committed a movie murder.
Yeah.
You didn't do it, or maybe you did. Who knows?
Okay.
But you need to be found innocent. You have to pick one movie lawyer to argue your case for you. Who are you choosing to defend you in a court of movie law? Mallory, you get to go first.
Did I do it?
You did not do it. You didn't do it. You definitely didn't do it.
Okay.
You did.
I am going to choose as my legal representation Atticus Finch
Wow.
from To Kill
Wow.
a Mockingbird.
You're back 150 years.
Good enough for a Pulitzer and an Oscar. Good enough for me. Now, some of you might be thinking, Atticus did not actually win that case.
Can you give us a rundown of what happens in this movie? Because, again, it's 150 years old.
It's a beautiful and wrenching tale that I'm sure everyone read in 10th grade. AP Lit, whatever.
I did not take any AP classes. We didn't read that in remedial lit.
It's about a lot of things. It's about prejudice, it's about family, it's about identity, but the legal plot hinges on Atticus Finch, played by Gregory Peck in the cinematic adaptation, representing Tom, a black man in the town who is falsely accused of a crime by racist white people. And
I'm glad that doesn't happen anymore. Like, not at all.
We've gotten past that now.
doesn't feel like it's 150 years ago. Atticus does not win the case, unfortunately. And shortly after that, I think it's just a matter of days or weeks, Tom attempts to escape from prison and is gunned down and killed. It's not the outcome I would want.
This is the guy you want with your life on the line. A loser.
Allow me to explain.
Okay.
A loser with integrity. And
Oh,
what
okay.
really counts, you know?
Not getting electrocuted counts.
There's.
A lot.
Did anyone watch *Halt and Catch Fire*? Yeah. Okay, like 3 people. That's what I predicted. Great show. And there's a moment in the final season where Lee Pace, handsome, where his character Joe is saying, I won't sum up the plot, but says to effect, it was never about where we were going. It was always about how it felt. That's what I want for my legal representation. Wow. I want someone who I don't have to convince, who believes fully in my innocence and worth, and who is fighting for something more than just the outcome of that particular case, who is fighting for integrity, justice, fairness, and duty. Now, ideally, that would all net out in my innocence and freedom. But we can't control what other people do. And so I want my case to stand for something more than what it is. Thus, I'm choosing Atticus Finch.
You can control what the other people do if you have a better lawyer than that guy.
I suspect Jason has a different strategy.
God, I hope so.
I do. Well, my initial thought was Lieutenant Caffey, but I'd realized I had to be in the military for that, so that's not going to happen.
You're not joining the movie military?
Not just to commit a crime, maybe, and then have him represent me. It's like a long con that I'm not willing to go through with. I think, and so I went with Tanner Bolt from
good call.
From Gone Girl. Tanner Bolt, because no matter how bad it looks, he's there. As long as there's some heat on the case, Tanner Bolt will take it, and he'll take it pro bono.
The opposite of Atticus.
Yeah,
He's like, I don't
Tanner
care.
Bolt.
Yeah.
Tanner Bolt will take it for the heat, and he's good at it. And the worse it looks, kind of like the juicier it is for him.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of like a little scummy.
So you did it in this.
No, I'm not saying I didn't do it, but it looks fucking bad. It looks really bad.
When you call the wife murdering defender.
It looks super, super Gone Girl bad. Like all the like credit card bill racked up, all the stuff bought, like bad text messages that I didn't write actually. But Tanner Bolt's like, listen, we'll make this work, and I need to get you in front of the cameras, and we need to figure out your defense. I'm like, great. And how much are you charging? 0? Great. Good.
Okay, I have a question then for you. Tanner doesn't get Nick off in Gone Girl.
But
Amy has to show up.
Well,
for
I
him
mean,
to
that's
get away with it.
extenuating circumstances. But I think, here's the thing. All of Tanner's advice was very, very good and very sound. And it's just, and if it wasn't for the fact that he was up against Amy, who was like an all-time sociopath with like a really, really good plan, I think he would have got him off. I think he would have got Nick off. Tanner's at the top of his game.
Here's another. I'm gonna poke one more hole.
Sure.
Nick has the most important interview of his life on television.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah.
And they don't prep until like 5 minutes before.
And they're throwing fucking gummy bears at each other.
That's how. That's how.
That's not a strategy.
To me, that's more a that's more a reflection on Nick and the things that he had going on at the time. Like, take this shit seriously, my guy.
Okay.
Why are you out here? Take it seriously. Tanner is.
All right. I think my pick beats both of y'all's.
Okay.
I'm just gonna. We should know that because number one, my pick won the case.
Oh, that's sure.
Number two, she won the case like legit. We were prepared ahead of time. Number three, she won the case. We were prepared, and she wasn't even fully a fucking lawyer yet.
I know. Yeah. Okay.
Give me Elwood from Legally Blonde.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes, Elwood is gonna win the case.
Well, can I
She
poke?
was in law school.
Can I poke a small hole though?
Go nuts. There's no.
That's the thing. She's in law school. She can't actually take the case. Can
But she
take
did.
it?
She did.
Can she take it?
I watched her do it. I watched it happen. The judge is going to be like, "Are you allowed to do this?" And she's going to be like, "What? Like it's hard?" Boom! We did it. Give me Elwoods every single time. I don't know who else you need. Especially if I committed this murder 4 years from now.
Is murder really her thing though? I feel like
That's what she got the guy off for.
I know, but I feel like okay.
She solved the whole case. She didn't need detectives. She didn't need anybody. She just needed to hear this person talk for a minute. She was like, everything is wrong and this is all a lie, and I'm going to tell you how. Give me Elle Woods every time. Mallory, poke a hole in this. There's not one to be poked. This is fucking made out of titanium.
I'm just distressed to learn that you're not interested in principles.
I'm not.
You know?
Get me out of there. That's what I want.
Elle was is very principled.
I think
She is,
also
yeah.
if the argument is basically like it was so easy for her, it just means you were up against a bunch of fools, right? Like I think that again, Tanner did not prepare Nick. He did not solve the case. He has like $100,000 retainer. You're only getting the pro bono treatment if you're on the national news every night for being a wife murderer. That's not a place you want to be.
I am absolutely getting framed for that level of crime.
Can we finish binge mode Star Wars first?
What about Kevin Lomax from The Devil's Advocate? Do you want him? Will you take him?
From The Devil's Advocate. So you're asking me if I want, like, the person that Satan has handpicked to bring his kingdom to earth as my lawyer.
That's only slightly worse than what Tanner Bolt is doing, by the way.
Is it? Like, I'm just saying, like, part of this guy's CV is, like, Satan is like, I want this guy.
Yeah. Same rules of the universe that you're opting out of, by the way, with The Exorcist. You know, you don't want any part of that. If you're saying I want that representation, then you're acknowledging that you can have some sort of demonic influence, and then you're back in The Exorcist, which you said you didn't want.
My pick is, I'm trying to help y'all right now. I'm throwing
We're
some other ones
good.
for you two.
We're good. Atticus and I are building a statue in front of the Alabama bar right now.
Yeah, and I'll make sure after I visit your statue to visit your grave because you got the death penalty.
Thanks.
So
That's kind.
yeah. All right, last one. We're going to do one more. And then we'll take some questions, and then we'll get out of here. Who do you want to white savior you?
Anyone?
Any movie star. You need a movie star to white
this
savior
is so
you.
easy.
And here's what's funny.
This is
when
so
I
easy.
when I had this question, we were doing this in Brooklyn. It was me, Wesley Morris, a black man, Donnie Kwok, Asian, and I just right now, as I was saying this question, and I was like, oh, Mallory got this. Mallory's already white. So, but you get to pick somebody to like double white savior you, and I'm very jealous
Let's team up.
right now.
This is the easiest.
You have one already?
It's Brad Pitt, who is a producer with Plan B Pictures. Here are some of the movies, the many movies that he has produced. 12 Years a Slave, Selma, Moonlight. He's already, if Beale Street Could Talk, he's already ready to, he's ready to do it. He's an ally. He's there producing the films already, and his abs are like fucking washboard.
He looks great still.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to go with a slightly different interpretation and pick a fictional character.
It's getting worse. The chords, I mean. Don't worry about it.
Look at this. We can solve anything together. Also, this is yours.
You just white saviored me right now. Yes.
Meta!
Wow.
So, I have two answers because the first one is something that you wrote a chapter about in your book that was really just the intro to the chapter because you basically said it was such an obvious pick for this kind of a prompt, Kevin Costner, in basically all of his movies, that you just need to state the fact and then move on. But
Right.
I agree with the premise, and I would nominate specifically Kevin Costner in Dances with Wolves.
Okay.
Okay. Don't like to think about that movie because I get extremely emotional thinking about what happens to Two Socks, the wolf.
Right.
Let's move on beyond that. That's one of my picks. If you should tell me it's not eligible because it is the premise of a chapter in your book, I'm ready with a backup, which would be Jake from Avatar.
Oh, good pick.
Okay?
Unexpected pick, but I like it.
Saved all the Na'vi. I mean, not all of them. A lot of them died. And, Home Tree, Bad beat for Home Tree. but saved a lot of them, was willing to betray his own people, fight against them for the sake of this new world and community and culture that he had discovered and embraced it so fully that, as Jason and I talk about regularly, they engage in coitus with their tail tips. Right?
As one does.
As one does.
Deleted scene. Release the deleted tail sex scene, James Cameron.
Whatever works for all of you, no judgment. And then at the end, he uploads his consciousness into his avatar full time. He is so committed that he chooses that life.
Yeah. That's like the final level of white savioring, when you like become the thing that you saved.
Exactly. Exactly.
You full Dolezal.
You go full CGI.
That's okay. All right, you win this round, because I did not think of that level of it. I was also I like. There's something comforting about Kevin Costner.
Yes, the comforting thing about him is he's insanely handsome.
Well, there's that. Also his voice. Also just everything. I don't
The
know.
tight jeans.
That too, I suppose. But he's hit.
Great stuff.
I think he's got the widest variety of white savoring, like the Native Americans. You mentioned that one. He does it with black people, and there's a movie literally called Black and White, where he saves a little girl, The Bodyguard, Hidden Figure. That's like his best stat with that community. The Mexicans in McFarland, USA, which, listen, that movie came out. That one and Black and White came out in the same year, and I was like, he's having a fucking great season right now. Like a great white savior season. This is the LeBron of white savoring. He can do it all. Every genre, every race, ethnicity, whatever. I know I shouldn't like McFarland USA. I should be like, this is terrible, but I love it. And I don't know why. He goes in the fields and he works with the people, and I'm like, yes, that's what I want from my white
He saves
savior.
the postal service and the postman.
He does that as well. That's for like white people though.
The ghosts?
White people are like mailing stuff more than anybody else. Like if I tell my mom right now, can you mail this letter? She'd be like, what do you mean? I don't understand what you're saying at all.
The postal service is an important supplier of benefits to people without higher education. It's a great job. And
That's
a
why it's white
necessary
savoring.
thing.
Okay, yeah. It's great. It's great.
Thank you, Kevin Costner, for saving the postal service.
All right, an alternate pick. Mallory gave 2. My alternate pick, I like Sandra Bullock. I like Sandra Bullock white savoring stuff.
Blindside.
And the big bonus there is that in that movie, her family owns Taco Bells. And I'm like, I would be that guy. I would be like, yeah, sure, I'll wear a sombrero in your house if you want me to. Let's go get some free Taco Bell. Let's take some questions.
Sure.
They may have any questions. We're going to take a few questions. Okay. Yes.
Who would win in a fight, Jason Bourne or John Wick?
Wow. So Bourne, I think Bourne would win.
No.
Yes.
It's the guy who shoots everybody in the head.
Hold on a second. Jason Bourne kills a guy with like a bath rag.
Sure. John Wick killed a guy with the pencil.
Yeah, but you don't understand. You don't understand the millions of dollars invested in training Jason Bourne into becoming like an elite level killer who can not only can he kill people in a room fine, but he can run flat out for a long distance, and he knows exactly how long that distance is, and he can walk into a restaurant and be like, that guy's a problem, that guy's fine, that guy got divorced, this guy wants to fight me.
There are too many times he had a fight or interaction with somebody and that person did not die. That
What are you
never
talking
happens with
about?
John Wick.
It's recency bias.
Every person that John Wick meets that he doesn't like dies. Everyone. Mallory, please back me up.
I am going to go with John Wick here.
Booyah!
But I do think you need a little more context, maybe. What do they have access to? What's the setting?
They're both in here. They both stand up right now in the middle of this room. And guess what? John Wick has also killed a guy with a book.
Yeah.
He killed Boban
With a book.
with a Russian literature book.
Yeah.
The
We're just
worst kind of
surrounded
book
by
to die
weapons.
with.
If you're gonna get into who killed people with non gun weapons, Bourne he killed with a book. He also killed with a book. He killed with a pen. He killed with a fucking rolled up magazine. He killed with the bath rag. He's killed with an incredible amount of items, everyday items. Just
John
stuff
Wick
he
killed
has in his
somebody
pocket.
with a horse.
Yeah, but like, come on, where are you gonna get a horse?
Apparently,
Yeah, right.
where he is. Next question. Yes, ma'am. My hottest movie take? I don't know that this is that unpopular right now, but my main one is I think that I've come around on this. Fast and the Furious is the greatest movie franchise of all time. I think if you're like adding up all of the parts and pieces, all of the things that it can represent, all of the money that it's made, all of the like moments it's given us, all of the like stuff that it's going to create in the future. We've already got multiple spin-offs. Give me that one. All we need is an Oscar. Give Dominic Toretto his Oscar.
Nice. About mine? I did this. This is recycling. This is take recycling. So I apologize, but I did this.
But listen to the hottest take.
Listen to the hottest take. Indiana Jones is a grave robber, a colonialist. He just goes into countries and robs them of their history and heritage, willy-nilly destroying historical sites, and like maybe fucking his students. Like, I think there's a lot of evidence. He's bad and he should be canceled, and he's bad.
That's a tough break, Mallory.
Cancel culture is out of control. Out of control. I don't know. I'll do one that we've argued about before on Binge. I ride hard for the Harry Hermione dance scene in the tent in Deathly Hallows. I think it's a great moment, and I don't think that every moment of warmth and interaction between two people has to mean that they were the ones who were supposed to be married. And I'll also say, as a little teaser, that I think the Star Wars prequels are good. I mean, they're awful, but they're good.
Okay.
Awful,
right.
but great.
Next question. Yes. I don't know.
If you could live as any fictional character for one day, which one would it be?
Creed. I watched Creed on the airplane today. Me and Arturo, we were flying from New York to LA. I watched 3 movies. I don't know how many Arturo watched, but as soon as we got off, he was like, "Hey, I watched the last fight from Creed." I was like, I watched the exact same thing from Creed. Also, he was in the back of the plane. They put him in C class, way in the back. He's the biggest and tallest, and this poor man's legs were up here. And yeah, I felt bad for him, but like not bad enough to switch halfway through the flight. I was like, you'll be. I would be Creed. That seems like fun, except for the deaf daughter and like the dead dad, and like he fights for a living. I just want to be muscular for one day.
For one day, I guess I would be T'Challa the Black Panther, because played a pivotal role in saving the world, if not the universe, half the living things in the universe. And like, I'm a king of a whole like secret high-tech nation. That's fucking incredible. What are you talking about? I'm richer than Tony Stark, probably. Let's get the numbers out, but I think I am.
I just want to throw this out there. He got beat up by Creed.
Hold on. Yeah, that is true. That's fair.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to the hot take thing, because I just thought my other one.
Yeah.
In Draft Day, Kevin Costner, our beloved Kevin Costner,
Man.
he takes Vontae Mack with the first pick, and everybody's like, "This is a horrible pick." And then a couple years later, Vontae Mack turns into Black Panther. Fucking great pick now. Cleveland Browns, Super Bowl champ.
Vontae Mack, no matter what.
No matter what.
Great
All right,
line.
Mallory.
Well, I'm tempted to say Shuri so that I can still hang out with Jason, but I will go with. I want to say someone with magical powers because that seems fun, but I'm going to pick Elizabeth Bennet in specifically the adaptation of Pride and Prejudice that features Colin Firth, so that I can fuck Colin Firth. Colin Firth's version of Fitzwilliam Darcy. That is my pick. I stand by it.
I'm so glad I don't have to go after that. We'll do one more. Yes, sir.
Hey, can we talk about a way a cultural decision changes the way you view an old movie? So California ruling to pay athletes blue chips, and Nick Nolte. Nick Nolte's not a sellout anymore. He's like kind of the weirdo for not paying his athletes all along.
That's a hard one.
That was a way smarter question than I was anticipating. So I'm gonna let Jason answer that one.
A cultural decision, Here we go. I think that. So there's this comedian, Gabe Dinger, has this great bit about E.T., and this is kind of not what you're talking about, but kind of is. His whole point is that E.T. actually is bad, because think about it, and he's not just this cute alien. He's an astronaut alien, which means he's an elite level, scientist level alien. And all he's doing is hanging out with kids and stuff and touching them with his weird glowing finger. I think if you really look at that, you get what the government's saying. Hey, whoa, hold on, astronaut guy. First of all, why are you hanging out with it? Two, there's 6 people on the spacecraft. You can't do a head. You guys are smart. You can't be oh, we're missing one of the 6. We're just gonna take off.
I don't know what you're talking about right now, but I feel like you said E.T. was a pedophile.
Yes.
I mean, you could see how people would think it. That's all I'm saying. He's.
Oh my God.
He's acting really super childish when actually you think he's one of the elite aliens from his planet. He has gone through training. He's a scientist. He's not just a cutesy alien. He's a fucking astronaut.
So this is the reason that we think he's a cutesy little alien is because he only speaks a little bit of English.
That's it.
So it's an immigrant story right now. When you're
it's
you were a doctor in your land and over here I don't understand you, so you have to clean the bathrooms now. Okay. This seems like a good place to stop before everything just sort of spins out of control. Mallory, Jason, Arturo, thank y'all so much. Let's sign some books, I guess.
You've been listening to the Skylight Books author reading series. Don't forget, you can listen to this and all of our other great podcasts at skylightbooks.com. Thanks again for stopping by, and we hope to see you soon.